I just wanted to iron my shirt. I didn't want all of this. That's how it started. No monsters. No explosions. No epic betrayal. Just a white shirt, slightly wrinkled, and a job interview that finally didn't make me want to throw myself into a dumpster. It was 7:30 a.m. The sun was up, the birds were screaming, as usual, and I was actually on schedule. I even had time for toast, if I didn't screw this up. I found a shirt, my one nice shirt, laid on the dusty old ironing board like it was sacred. I reached into the utility closet for my iron. Gone. I checked the kitchen drawers, under the bed, the back of the fridge, don't ask, even the bathroom cabinet. Still gone. Then I remembered the worst moment of last winter. The dumpling incident. One night, a frozen bag of dumplings. No steamer. Just me and my iron. I cooked on it. That's right. I cooked food with my iron. I even told myself it was resourceful. It wasn't. I fried the wiring and made my entire apartment smell like synthetic soy sauce for 3 days. Now the shirt lay before me, judging me with every wrinkle. And so began my descent, the first of many terrible decisions, when I walked downstairs and knocked on Grandma Linda's door. Grandma Linda isn't my grandma. She's the 70-something-year-old who lives in the apartment below me, wears neon pink slippers, and feeds the neighborhood raccoons like they're her children. She opened the door wearing a housecoat covered in actual cats. Not cat print. Real live cats. "Oh, Derek," she chirped. "You look pale. Are you dying? Sit down. I'll get you ginger tea." "No, no tea," I said quickly. "I was just wondering, do you happen to have an iron I could borrow? Just for a few minutes." Her eyes sparkled. "Oh, of course I do. But you'll have to use it here. It's old and stubborn. Like me." Before I could protest, she pulled me inside like a lonely witch dragging a boy into her gingerbread house. Her apartment smelled like lavender and regret. Floral wallpaper peeled at the corners, and a classical music CD played softly from a dusty stereo that hadn't been turned off since 2006. Then she brought it out. The iron of doom. It looked like it weighed 20 pounds. Cord frayed. Handle taped. Steam vents crusted over with something orange. I should have run. But instead, I smiled like a fool and said, "Yeah, this'll do." The iron of doom hissed like it remembered every war it had survived. Grandma Linda plugged it in with a grunt, then handed me a small spray bottle labeled holy water, probably, and said, "It gets cranky if you don't spritz it first." I wasn't sure if she meant the iron or herself, but I obeyed. Steam erupted immediately. It didn't whisper out of the vents like a normal iron. It screeched like a dying kettle. And then the smell hit. Burnt dust, rubber, and something disturbingly metallic like old pennies soaked in soup. Still, I pressed on. I laid the shirt flat, gave it one heroic spritz, and lowered the iron. Nothing happened at first. Then a spark. Then smoke. Then the fire alarm shrieked like it was being murdered. "Oh, it does that," Linda said, unfazed as she calmly opened the window and fanned the air with a pizza box. "Don't worry, it hasn't actually caught fire since '98. "Since what?" I choked. Outside, a man walking his dog looked up at the window, saw the smoke, and saluted me. I don't know why. I saluted back. It felt right. I turned back to the iron. Half the shirt now had a perfect brown triangle on it, like the iron had left its signature. I had 53 minutes left before the interview. And now, no shirt, no iron, just a weird burn mark and a vague smell of catnip. I thanked Linda, mostly out of fear, fled her cat kingdom, and ran upstairs 2 steps at a time. Burnt shirt in hand, I stared into my closet like it would magically produce another option. It did not. All I had left were a Hawaiian shirt with flamingos wearing sunglasses, a hoodie that said "Nope" in bold letters, a suit jacket 3 sizes too big for my cousin's wedding, and a black dress shirt I hadn't worn since my failed magician phase in college. All terrible, all wrinkled. I needed a miracle, or a gas station. There was one 5 blocks away. Technically, it was a convenience store, but I'd seen it sell socks, motor oil, and discount neck tees, so I figured it was worth a shot. I sprinted. It was 8:17 a.m. I had exactly 43 minutes left. The sun was too bright. My socks were already sweaty. I passed a man yelling at a mailbox and someone trying to leash a goose. I didn't question anything. Not today. The gas station was dim, cold, and smelled like despair mixed with nacho cheese. The clerk didn't even look up when I entered. A fan rattled overhead like it was dying slowly. I scanned the aisles. Toilet paper, sunglasses, car chargers, energy drinks named things like Death Volt and Liquid Sword. And then, the clearance corner, shoved between a cracked phone case and a single flip-flop. One folded white dress shirt. Size unknown. Price $4.99. It was destiny. I grabbed it like it was the last lifeboat off the Titanic. You think a shirt would be easy to open. You think a human adult with fingers and basic coordination could remove a shirt from plastic. You'd be wrong. This thing was vacuum sealed like government evidence. I tried peeling, ripping, tugging. Nothing worked. It was tighter than my high school jeans. I glanced at the clock on the wall. 8:29 a.m. I had 31 minutes. I found a pair of scissors near the hot dog machine. Concerning. I stabbed the plastic, tore it apart. Finally, victory. Until I pulled the shirt out. It was white. Yes, but it was also transparent. Sheer. Shiny. Like something you'd wear in a 90s boy band music video. Also, and I can't emphasize this enough, the size tag said MLXXXL, which means nothing. I held it up. The clerk finally looked at me and said, "Nice." It clung to my skin like cling wrap. You could see my chest hair and my regrets. But it was better than nothing. Barely. I bought a travel-sized deodorant, applied it while crouching behind the ice machine, and power walked out of there like a man running from his past. I had 24 minutes left. Interview at 9. Office across town. No iron. No dignity. Just a shirt that looked like it was made from old party balloons. I made it to the bus stop just as the bus was pulling up. A miracle. Until I realized the universe demands payment for miracles. The bus was packed. Not, oh no, I have to stand packed. More like sardines in a blender packed. And me, standing in the middle, wearing a semi-transparent dress shirt that clung to me like wet cellophane, still vaguely smelling of gas station meat sticks and panic sweat. Everyone stared. A toddler pointed and asked his mom, "Is that man melting?" An old man looked me up and down like I was an art exhibit titled Late-Stage Capitalism. Even the driver said, "Rough morning, huh?" I nodded, gripping a pole like it was my only tether to this dimension. The bus jolted forward. My deodorant failed instantly. I nearly face-planted into a woman holding a balloon bouquet that said, "Divorce party." She looked at me. I looked at her. We both knew. I was her future. By the time we hit Main Street, my back was glued to the shirt and my self-esteem had fully relocated to a new host body. It was 8:47 a.m. 13 minutes left. I got off 3 blocks early, hoping to cool down and gather myself. But as I stepped off the bus, it started to rain. Not drizzle. Not cute rom-com rain. Biblical flood. The rain hit me like it had been waiting all morning just to ruin my life. Within seconds, my sheer plastic gas station shirt became a second skin. Now, it was not only transparent, it was practically high definition. A woman walking past gasped and covered her child's eyes. A man handing out flyers skipped me entirely like I wasn't fit for capitalism anymore. And still I walked, or rather sloshed, down the sidewalk with all the confidence of a wet tissue in a hurricane. I checked the time. 8:52 a.m. 8 minutes to go. I was 2 blocks away. I could still make it. I just needed to dry off, fix my hair, stop looking like a drowned jellyfish, and wait. Smoke. Not from the sky. Not from a building. From me. I looked down. The cheap shirt, soaked and stretched, had ignited at the seams. Not fire, but heat. A kind of thermal reaction, maybe from my body heat and the synthetic fabric. I smelled something burning. Not flames, but a strange chemical warmth, like when you microwave plastic you really shouldn't microwave. Then I felt it, a small sizzle at the collar. I screamed. A cyclist screamed back. I ducked into an alley, ripped the shirt halfway open, slapped at the neckline, and finally got the sizzling to stop. My skin was fine. My dignity? Beyond help. I now looked like a half-naked escapee from a boy band prison riot. And I had 5 minutes left. I burst into the office building, dripping water like a broken faucet and smelling faintly of burnt plastic. The lobby was pristine, filled with people in suits who looked like they'd swallowed motivational posters whole. I sprinted to the nearest bathroom, which smelled like lavender and lost ambitions. Locked. Of course. I knocked frantically. A voice answered. Occupied. I begged, please. I'm about to ruin my chances and probably catch on fire. The door swung open, revealing a woman with perfectly manicured nails and the patience of a saint. She gave me a sympathetic smile and stepped out, freeing the stall. I locked myself in, flicked the hand dryer on full blast, and started waving my shirt around like a flag of defeat. Steam and hot air mixed with my panic. I tried to smooth out the wrinkles the best I could, knowing full well the shirt was a lost cause. Then I noticed something, a small pack of mints on the sink. I popped one in my mouth, took a deep breath, and prepared to face the world. Interview in 3 minutes. I stepped into the interview room like a man walking into a lion's den wearing a clown suit. The recruiter, Ms. Fletcher, was sharp. Her eyes scanned me up and down, landing on the shiny, wrinkled plastic shirt I was desperately trying to pretend was modern fashion. Good morning, Derek, she said, voice polite but with an edge. Ready to start? I nodded, swallowing a lump in my throat. The questions came fast. My resume, my skills, my experience. I answered honestly, but nervously, trying not to sweat through the shirt that now felt like a plastic sauna. At one point, Ms. Fletcher paused and asked, Is that shirt new? I smiled weakly. Yes. Very avant-garde. She raised an eyebrow, but moved on. 20 minutes later, I walked out feeling like I had survived a firing squad. No idea if I got the job, but I knew one thing. I had just survived my own personal ironing apocalypse. I left the building feeling like I had just run a marathon in a plastic bag. Outside, the sun was shining, as if mocking me for surviving the morning. My phone buzzed. A message from Grandma Linda. Did the Iron of Doom treat you well? I told you it's a character builder. I laughed despite everything. As I walked home, my ruined shirt sticking to me like a bad memory, I realized something. Maybe life is just a series of small disasters wrapped in layers of hope. And maybe, just maybe, all I really wanted was to iron my shirt in peace. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was Ms. Fletcher. I froze. Derek, she said, we'd like to offer you the position. I blinked, then smiled, then almost dropped the phone. Turns out, honesty and sheer persistence count for more than looking perfect. I met Grandma Linda for coffee. She wore those neon pink slippers and smiled. You survived the Iron of Doom, she said proudly. I smiled back. Barely. We toasted with lukewarm tea. Life, I realized, was full of weird victories. I bought a new iron online. It was shiny, modern, and had more buttons than a spaceship. It arrived the next day. I stared at it, then decided, tomorrow's problems. The day before my first day at the new job, I ironed my shirt. No fire, no smoke, no burns, just smooth fabric and a little victory. Walking into the office, wearing my perfectly ironed shirt, I felt ready. Ready to mess up, fix it, and maybe even laugh at myself along the way. Because sometimes, all you want is to iron a shirt. But what you get is a story.